Okay, let's do a Warzone video on the iron here. I got 4 machines here. Got the Deus with the 9-inch coil, lots of iron, some coins, some foil. Deus with the 9-inch HF coil on it. The Anfibio with a 5-inch Magic double D coil on it, amazing coil. Got the Equinox 800 with the 6-inch coil on it. What the hell's the Simplex doing in there? I'll show you what the hell the Simplex is doing in there in just a minute. Okay. Let's go with the Deus first. Been out here testing in the Warzone. I'll just put it in the pitch program. My deep pitch program, right? 5-inch deep nickel in the iron right here. Been sitting there for about a year. Come on. All right. What I want to do is I want a detector that I'm going to be able to use in spots that I don't have to push too many buttons, right? The Deus, you have to push a lot of buttons, but once you get it dialed in right, you can hit a lot of higher conductive targets and lower conductive targets, all within the same settings and the same coil, right? I have a lot of coils for all these detectors, a lot of coils. And what I want to do is I don't want to have to swap out coils, I don't have to change frequencies, I don't have to make a lot of adjustments. I just want to set it and forget it, right? And the Deus is good for that, but it takes a long time to dial it in. You know, let's see what frequency I'm 28 kilohertz frequency, or 29 kilohertz frequency. There's a 6-inch deep quarter. Lots of iron around it, right? I'm in pitch. Deep pitch program right here. Here's some foil on the ground here. It's about 1.5 inches deep right here. It's gonna read up high because it's close to the surface there. A lot of iron here, right here. Lots of iron. I'm not getting any banging targets, right? There's some foil there near the surface. Here's a little piece of foil right here on the surface. It's a little piece of foil. I can pinpoint that lower conductive target pretty good in 28 kil or 27 something. Here's a dime, 3 inches deep. Lots of iron around it, right? This is a tough target for a lot of detectors, man. See it struggling on it? And I'll even put it in full tones here. I'm discriminated 10. Normally I don't have it discriminated up that high, but this is my deeper pitch program. This is my full Deus fast full tones program. 5-inch deep nickel. Struggling a little bit today. Here's all this iron, right here. See? My discrimination's all, it's a little bit too low. Raise it up to minus 4.6. It's still hitting that quarter, just a little teeny bit. Not very good though, right? But I can change my frequencies and change my settings and stuff, and it'll hit these 2 targets really good here, right? Low conductive target, because it's a low tone, it's a low conductive target near the surface. I can tell it's near the surface, right? Go all this iron here, right? No high tones, no falsing, right? It's running pretty stable here. Here's that foil, low conductive target right there. I can pinpoint it. And I'm not going to dig a target out. If I cannot pinpoint a target, I'm not going to dig it up. It's so hard to find your target. If you're going for an Effie and you realize it takes you 10 minutes to extract that target out, you could have dug 10 other targets that you could get out quick because they're evident targets, right? Now I'll go with this iron here, right? Full tones, right? Here's that dime at 3 inches deep. I can hear that iron, but I can also hear that higher conductor. And I know that when I'm in full tones, if I get a beep like that, there's a higher conductive target in there, and I'll just rotate around it, rotate, you know. I see a lot of videos on YouTube that these guys are just swinging one angle, right? What is it? And they sit there for 5 minutes and mess with it and change your settings. And dude, just dig the damn target up, right? You're wasting your time sweeping over a target and playing with it and adjusting your setting and lifting your coil. you could be digging 3 other targets out that are evident, like that one or that one, right? Instead of the iffy tones, right? So I'll turn the Deus off. Now, I'm not going to throw it like the Simplex, right? Because they're fragile machines, right? And I'll show you that this coil is freaking absolutely amazing, man. I'll be posting some videos with this coil here. It's a top performer for the Anfibio, this 5-inch coil, and it actually performs a lot better than the other coil, the Nocta 5-inch coil, in most circumstances. So I'm just my regular program 3-tone. I'll ground balance here. See if I can get it to go around 74. Here's that 5-inch deep nickel right there. And nickels on the Anfibio are kind of scratchy anyway if you don't set it up right. And I have my tone break so I can hit nickels a little bit better here. But this nickel reads up kind of weird anyway. It reads up really high, just for some reason. Just a lot of iron in the hole there. It gives me a lot of high tones with all my machines. And I'll go through, sweep all. It's running pretty stable. I'll go over this quarter at, look at that. Quarter at 6 inches deep, spanking it out big time, man. There's a lot of iron in the hole there. Now I'll go over this foil here. Nice and stable, 3 tones. If I put it in 4 tones, it becomes very unstable with this coil, right? Because I'm just overpowering it, even at 70 gain, the stock program, right? I'm not going to bore you guys with that 4-tone because it's going to waste my time, right? All the iron right here, a lot of falsing. A lot of falsing, right? Here's that foil right here. It's not pinpointing it very good because I have my tone break right at 18 or 19, so it's just right on the verge of that tone break, so I'm getting some broken tones there. And it is right on the surface, so it's going to overload very easy on that foil, right? I mean, it's right there on the surface, so the Anfibio overloads really easy on those surface targets there. But it is a tone break issue right there. So I'll go over this dime here. Look at how I can swing fast, right? I'm getting all the iron around there too. You know, I can hear all the iron, but just spanking. Spanking it out. I can put in 5 kilohertz too, but my soil's pretty hot. It doesn't like 5 kilohertz. It doesn't like it actually does perform a little bit better in 14 kilohertz frequency, but I usually don't run in 14 kilohertz frequency because I get a lot of EMI around power lines and stuff. 20 kilohertz just seems to really get away from all that EMI, especially with if you're hunting around with other detectors who are at 14 kilohertz frequency. The Anfibio is kind of sensitive to those other detectors. But look at that nickel at 5 inches deep. This coil is absolutely amazing. Now I'll go with the Equinox, you know. And what I want a coil and I want a setup that's going to hit on everything, you know. It's going to hit on those good, it's going to give me a good tone on those lower and higher conductives all in the same settings, right? And it's hard to manage those sometimes. It's hard to dial detectors into certain sites on certain days. Like today, you know, it's pretty mild. It's moderate soil. But I mean, noise cancel for all you noise cancelers out there, right? I don't think it really does much good to noise cancel on this machine. Now, I mean, sure, in some situations it does help, but it's hitting that nickel really good. I like it. For a 6-inch coil, this is a good performer, man. I don't like the big coils because you don't really see me swinging around huge coils. In fact, on all of these machines, I don't own anything bigger than 11-inch coil, right? I have 11-inch coils for all these, and I don't have any bigger coils than that because it just defeats the whole purpose of my hot soil here. I can't dig deep in the soil in the summertime because it's like concrete. You see me in my videos, you know, struggling just getting 4 or 5 inch targets out because it's like concrete. It's clay. I dig in clay. And in the wintertime, if you have those big coils, you just get a lot of interference on all the minerals in the ground, and you have to drop your gain down, so you're not really doing any good. You know, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a big coil because I'm not able to use it to its full capacity because there's so many minerals in the ground, right? It's hitting that nickel good. Now I'll come over that quarter, 6 inches deep. It's hitting it really good right there. Right there. It's super jumpy, but it's still hitting it, right? Now I'll go this foil here. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful tone. I love the low tones on the Equinox. It's just amazing, man. It can pinpoint those lower conductive targets really good. It's a pretty stable signal there, but I'm low gain right here, right? If I jack my gain up, it gets really unstable here. I'll jack it up right here, right? See, I'm getting all kinds of tones there, all kinds of numbers, right? It's just running a little bit too unstable, right? But it'll hit this one better because it's a bigger coin. Now I'm getting some side bumps on there because I have it a little bit too high, right? Now I'll go over this iron here, right? Getting a little bit of pulsing. But look what happens when I turn my iron on, right? You get lots of pulsing everywhere, right? But I want to hear the iron, man. So with the Equinox, if you turn your iron on, it actually hurts you, right? Because you get, see, look at all the instability of it, right? It's hitting that coin pretty good there today. It's hitting that coin really good. And 4 kilohertz, I'll change the frequency. I'm in Park 1, which favors lower frequencies, but I'll put it in 4 kilohertz and it'll hit that probably pretty good, yeah. Actually, not too much better. It's still really jumpy. I'll go with this foil here. It's struggling on that foil now. See, look at, I was jumping all around because I'm favoring the lower frequencies. Foil and lower conductive frequencies want that higher frequency to be able to pinpoint that target, right? It's all about pinpointing your targets, getting them pinpointed and located, and then you dig your target out, right? See, watch, I'll go with this foil here. It's jumping everywhere. In 4 kilohertz, the foil does not like lower frequencies, you know? Just does not like it, jumping everywhere. But I'll go with this dime here at 3 inches deep. Spanking it out. But if you're going for coins, you're going to be missing the gold. You're going to be missing those lower conductive, you know, bracelets or small jewelry if you're in 4 kilohertz frequency, because the lower frequencies just do not like those smaller targets, and they do not like those lower conductive targets. So I'll put it in I'll put it in field 1. See what happens here. It's going to false on all these nails here, right? So I'm going to spend a lot of time investigating all these falsings on the nails and digging those, you know, iffy targets out and skipping those targets, or it'll take me longer to get to these targets here, right? It's really jumpy because it's seeing all those minerals in the ground there, because I'm trying to go deeper. I'm trying to go deep with this coil here, right? See, falsing on all these nails here. Yep. A little bit jumpy there on the foil on the surface there. Watch this. It'll hit that dime pretty good. Kind of good. Okay, that's enough of that. I can test and test and test, but the Simplex just seems to do this every time, man. I've been out here for 2 hours testing the higher machines, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go get my Simplex. That was a big mistake, right? It just seems like every time I break the Simplex out in the test garden, it performs exactly the same. It does this, right? And I can test those machines on different days. You know, they're can be kind of a little bit different on pretty much most days. But the Simplex just seems to do this every time. I miss my Simplex, man, I do. See this, all the iron, right? We'll start out in part 2 here. I want in ground balance, how about that, right? Go all this iron, right? There's that nickel, 5 inches deep. Spanking it out. I'll go this foil here on the surface. It's low conductive target. See, I'm not pushing any buttons here, right? I'm just turn it on, you don't have to ground balance, right? Over this quarter at 6 inches deep, right here. '90s, 04, because seeing a lot of that iron on the ground, right? Go with this other iron here, right? Just pulsing a little bit on the iron. I'll rotate, 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 right? Rotate, rotate. Right? I'm not getting any solid signals there, right? I'll go this. It's a solid signal, right? That foil right on the surface. I can pinpoint it super easy with this big coil, right? There's no guesswork in the Simplex, man. Just put it in any mode and it'll smack them out, man. I'll swing fast too. Here's that dime at 3 inches deep. And the iron. I can ground balance it here, if I can find a spot to ground balance it. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of iron in my backyard, man. Let's see if I can get at least in the 60s or 70s, right? I don't think so, man. 58. I'll do that. Here's that nickel, 5 inches deep. Here's that foil on the surface. Not on the surface, about 1.5 inches deep. Here's that quarter, 6 inches deep. Okay, we'll sweep over this iron here, right? A little bit of pulsing there. There's that foil right on the surface, right? I can pinpoint that target. A lot of grunts, right? Now I'll put in field mode. Well, smack that out. A lot of iron there, right? But if you get a high tone like that, you want to investigate it. You want to rotate on that target, right? This foil on the surface, right? Here's that quarter, 6 inches deep, right? If you get a tone like that, just rotate on it. If you get a target, 40 degrees, you know you're going to be digging that up, right? And there's no use playing with your target, working it, and you get a target like that, just dig it up.